Man, what's the point of even trying anymore? Seriously feels like everything I do turns to dust. I can't do anything for myself. I've completely screwed up my life, and there's literally no way that I can turn back from this. Everything is ruined. Why should I go on like this? Why should I be forced to live like this when there's no hope? There's nothing I can do to escape all this crap in my life. Nobody even cares what happens to me. I don't have any skills or talents, anything that could make any significance in my life. Why should I be forced to sit here and suffer? If life is suffering and life is meaningless, then that means we're all just here suffering for no reason. What's the point? Why should I even try anymore? Fuck this. This is how I used to talk to myself pretty much all the time, pretty much exclusively. I didn't see any hope. There was no light at the end of the tunnel. There was nothing to aim at. There was nothing to work for. There was nothing to do. And it seemed like everything in my life was just aiming in one direction. And it was very dark, very hopeless, and very lonely and painful, and I really didn't see any way out of it. But I finally think I figured something out that not only helped me, but I think is going to help a lot of you out there. If you guys are struggling with depression, anxiety, feelings of hopelessness, purposelessness, despair, you're feeling weak, stuck, trapped, and any other synonyms I guess you can think of, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Finesse, back with another video. I know it's been a long ass time, man. Probably almost a year now at this point, but I do want to thank everybody who's still rocking with me, who's still following and leaving comments and hitting me up on Instagram. I appreciate you all. I love you so much. And in this video, I kind of wanted to break down where I've been, why I stopped making videos, and why I'm making this video today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Josh. I go by Finesse, and mainly I make videos documenting my PED use, my training, my diet, and I try to give you guys helpful information to hopefully help you guys with your fitness journey, whatever you're doing, whether you're natural or you use SARMs or steroids. There's a lot of weird stuff that can happen when you're trying to get as big and strong as possible. So I'm here to hopefully give you guys some real actionable tips, things that you might not know or things that you might know some things about. Kind of fill in the blanks in your knowledge, as I'm trying to do with myself. I'm always trying to learn every day, but I do also kind of want to throw in some psychology and philosophy and maybe even some mythology into this channel. So we'll see how it goes. Let me know what you guys think, but without any further ado, let's get right into the video. So basically I stopped making videos last year because I was kind of going through a lot of shit. I was super busy. I was feeling kind of burnt out. You know, I was running a moving company with my friend, trying to hit the gym like 6-7 days out of the week. I was dating like 3 or 4 women at the same time, and also trying to go to therapy, trying to have a relationship with my family, trying to maintain friendships, and trying to start a couple side hustles just to make some extra money because I'm not really making anything on YouTube. It's just kind of something that I do for fun and hopefully helps people. I kind of was just getting burnt out, long story short. I was also going through some emotional shit, mental shit. I don't think I ever really talked about this much on the channel, but I am what you would call a highly sensitive person, which basically means that my nervous system is pretty sensitive. My psychology is pretty acute. I'm very, very aware of people's intentions and feelings, and this might be because of complex childhood PTSD, but all of this kind of led me to experiencing depression and anxiety for a long time, since I was about 14 or 15. I mean, I know kids are going through hormonal changes and shit around that time, but I never really grew out of my shitty psychology, and I wasn't even allowed to take psychology. That's a whole other story. Then I started to develop body dysmorphia. I started to really hate people in general. I just wasn't in a very good place mentally or emotionally, and so it led to a lot of failed relationships, blah blah blah, sob story. So then over the past year, I started dealing with various mental breakdowns and existential crises. I was having dissociative episodes like depersonalization and derealization, which is basically where I don't feel like I'm living in real life. I feel like I'm watching reality through like glass, like I'm watching TV. Like I'm not a real person. Reality isn't a real thing. Like it's all a simulation. I'm a simulation. Nothing is real. Pretty scary shit. And I know it's just like a state of mind, but it's not something that you can just shake off. I recently dated dated somebody who kind of had similar episodes, and she didn't really know what to do about it. She's had multiple therapists tell her that they don't know what to do about it either. So I really don't have many answers other than it's probably a result of CPTSD, but there's not really much more I can say about that. I started having a lot of anger outbursts. I'd spin out into violent rage fits, not at people, but like, breaking furniture, holes in the wall, shit like that. And eventually it kind of led me to having suicidal thoughts, thinking, life is hopeless, life is just full of suffering, everything sucks, everybody else sucks, this planet is burning alive, fuck it all. And then it kind of got to a breaking point where everything just felt really overwhelming. My credit card debt was piling up, my car got stolen for the third time in less than a year. I got in a big fight with a close childhood friend of mine who I don't talk to anymore. He was my business partner for the moving company, which I'm not involved with anymore. I just left because I'm very selective of who I allow into my life, which is why I don't really have many friends. And this also contributed to my feelings of isolation and loneliness and depression and anxiety. I had horrible panic attacks and a really bad experience with a therapist recently, kind of just before all this happened, where she was basically trying to shove religion down my throat. I think you need to ask God back into your life. And that was literally like the one thing that I told her, like, hey, I got one boundary. I know you're Christian and all that, but like, I've been there, tried it, doesn't work for me. I can't make myself believe something that I just don't believe. That's just not how beliefs work. I didn't really see the point in continuing, and life seemed pretty hopeless. I was pretty nihilistic in the worst way. But I think for the past 3 months or so, I had been really trying to understand the myth of Sisyphus. And this has been like a theme in my life for probably at least 3 years now. But I think specifically in the last 3 months, it's been something that I'm really trying to understand, because I'm trying to figure out, how do I find purpose in a purposeless existence? How do I find hope in a hopeless life? How can I find purpose in my struggle? How can I find meaning in the suffering? So I was reading books like Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. I was reading over the Myth of Sisyphus. And if you don't know about the Myth of Sisyphus, I'll just give you a quick summary. Basically, Sisyphus was a king in Greek mythology known for his cunning and deceit. He was pretty clever, and as punishment for his trickery against the gods, Zeus condemned him to an eternal fate in the underworld. His punishment was to roll a massive boulder up a steep hill, only to have it roll back down every time he reached the top. And this cycle was to continue forever, making his effort futile and his existence seemingly meaningless. The philosopher Albert Camus later used this myth to illustrate the human condition, suggesting that despite the absurdity and the pointlessness of life, you can find meaning through personal rebellion and acceptance of your fate. In Camus' interpretation, Sisyphus is imagined as being happy because he accepts his punishment and finds a sense of purpose in his struggle, even if the task itself is never completed. So I was like, how the fuck can we ever imagine Sisyphus happy? How could you be happy pursuing an impossible goal for eternity, never accomplishing anything, and literally failing at everything you do forever? That sounds like hell, actually. So then I don't know how I came to this conclusion, but I just started thinking, like, if I'm Sisyphus, what is my boulder? And then I sort of came to the conclusion, like, depression is my boulder. I'm trying to push this boulder up a mountain and I'm not getting anywhere. And every time I think I've hit the top, this boulder rolls back down and I have to start all over again from square one. So I was like, okay, if depression is my boulder, then I have to find a way to actually enjoy this struggle, enjoy the suffering, and find meaning in it somehow, find purpose. And that's exactly what I did. So basically, I decided that I'm going to fight this depression. And in order to do that, I have to separate myself from the depression. So I am not depressed. I have depression. So me and depression are two different things. We're separated. We're fundamentally different. The way I like to think about it is like, you are not depression. Depression is this external entity that is trying to influence your life very subtly by pretending that its voice is your voice. So when you say things to yourself like, this is hopeless, this sucks, life sucks, everything is pointless, there's no way that I'm ever going to find success, do you really think that that's you saying that? Why would you say that to a friend or anybody that you loved? Why would you say that to yourself? It kind of made sense to me immediately. Like, yeah, why would I say that stuff to myself? I don't hate myself. I like myself. I'm smart. I'm capable. I've done a lot of shit that a lot of people can't really do. I appreciate all the good things about myself, although I do struggle with the things that I don't like about myself. But if I love myself, I'm not going to be the one to say such horrible things to myself. So I developed a strategy, I guess, that my last therapist actually thought was based and that he apparently had never considered before. And it basically goes like this. Every positive action that you take for yourself that is healthy or makes you happy or gives you some kind of engagement with reality, gives you some kind of goal to work towards, anything that you can do that's like good for you, anything that you know you're supposed to do, is a heavy blow to this depression demon. And this is kind of just what I call it, my depression demon. So every time I do something good for myself, like go to the gym or wake up on time or go for a walk or drink some water or eat something healthy or meditate, these are all things that weaken this depression demon. And the more I can do these good things for myself, the weaker this demon gets. You'll know this if you've ever gotten on a really good streak of doing good things for yourself and you've developed healthy habits. You know that the more you do these healthy habits, the less depressed you feel because you're engaged with reality, you're moving, you're doing something, you're building on something, you're aiming at some kind of higher goal, like some kind of like you're trying to improve yourself, right? You're trying to be a better person and progressively overload your life, right? So you're trying to get better by challenging yourself, doing things that seem difficult at first, things that are hard to get started to do. But once you get started doing them, you kind of build some momentum, you keep pushing, you keep going, and you feel better about yourself more and more. So that's kind of the strategy that I've been using to fight this depression demon. And my therapist actually thought this was pretty cool. He said that he had never really looked at it that way before. And I thought that was pretty interesting, but he said it sounded something like a combination of CBT and narrative therapy, although it wasn't really specifically either of those things. It was kind of a mix of some elements. I don't even really fully understand this, to be honest. This is just kind of like a new idea for me, but it's working for me right now. I'm just kind of taking it and running with it. And so far, it's been amazing. I've actually found motivation, not just discipline. I have motivation to actually do the things that I know I need to do and things that I know are good for me. So if you want to, I'll leave a couple links in the description below. You can check out some information that I found pretty helpful. If any of this does help you, I hope that you will leave a comment. Let me know if you're willing to try this out at least. Let me know what you think. But basically, if you can find a way to reframe things in your life to make it more bearable at the very least, and at the very best, give you some kind of purpose and some kind of goal. For me, my purpose right now is basically beating the fuck out of this depression demon, pounding him into submission, and making him beg me for mercy. It feels good. I feel good. I feel like I have, more control over my life. I feel powerful. I feel motivated and energized, and I feel ready to do all the things that I know I need to do that will increasingly make my life better and better over time. So give some of this a try. If it feels like it might be useful for you, I encourage you to give it a shot. If you want to, you can reach out to me on Instagram at FinnesseDidIt. I'll leave a link in the bio or in the I'll leave a link in the description for you to check out. Hit me up. Ask me about whatever. If it's about mental health, personal development, training, SARMs, steroids. Ask just if you're curious about what I'm up to, or if you just want to tell me what you're up to, and if you just want to have a conversation about whatever, my DMs are always open. So again, I encourage you guys to leave comments, have a discussion in the comments section. I'm sure a lot of you can learn from each other. I know I've learned a lot from a lot of you in the comments, so keep them coming. I love this community that we're already starting to build. I can't believe you guys have actually still been subscribing since I've been gone for like a year. I think when I left, I was at like 405 subscribers or something, and now I'm at like 514. I know it's not huge, but it's a big deal for me that like a lot of you actually give a fuck about what I have to say. So it really gives me more motivation to actually keep putting out content like this. So if you guys like what you're seeing, hit subscribe. Hit the like button if you want to. If you got any value from this, send this to a friend if you think it might help them with whatever they're going through. And I suppose with that, I'll get out of here. Remember, be safe, be happy, be healthy. It's your boy, Finesse, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Peace out, guys.
I'm a grown man, find you somebody to play with. You don't like me when you see me, better not say shit.